Okay, Josie.
My whole family.
Yeah. We've got a really supportive group of parents all around. It's really, really appreciated.
Well, we're about out of time here. We had some calls. Sorry we couldn't take your call, and I want to thank you, Coach Lamb, for coming in. All you girls for coming in, and
thank you.
You've been watching the Locker Room Chat, and we'll see you next week.
Let's go fishing. You know it's really great. Let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes. Let's go fishing. It's easy when you try. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.
Hey, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing Show. And Mike, Lady Vols are playing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so you've got about 15 or 20 minutes before they come back on the court, and everybody tunes them in and us out.
Well, I just hope they can do better than what they're doing in the first half.
I do too. Yeah, I'd like to see them win. Really would. Anyway, talking with Mike on the way over to the show tonight. I think it was 2012, February the 12th, we started the show, the first show we had. And so should be 8 years worth. If I'm right, it may have been a year in 2011, but somewhere in that neighborhood. We're barking on about 9 years worth, I think, Mike.
Yeah.
Started with this show, so we're thankful for everything and everybody, and the sponsors we've had and the sponsors we don't have, and or have, had and dropped, and that kind of thing. We appreciate all those folks supporting us there when we got started, and still got a couple of them hanging around, and we appreciate them greatly. So, but we're going to try to do things a little better, and the first thing you got to do is get on the water.
Get time to do things.
Time to do things, and that kind of thing. But we really do appreciate all you folks that's watching, and we try to do little things a little different. But anyway, well, I've got everybody on here. I got a hold of Mike Jolly last week, the fish biologist over in Crossville for Region 3. And Mike's going to try to get out here in the next week or so. He said he had some things he had to do this week, and he'd get in touch with me, and if he doesn't in the next few days, I'll give him another call and see if we can get him over here. And then also I'd like to get a TWRA officer over here to talk to us about, Mike, he can't talk about the license and that kind of thing because that's not his expertise. His deal is the fish biologist, and I want to hear, how's the Florida strain going down in Chickamauga, and I know they released some fingerlings 4, 5, 6 years ago in 5 different places on Watts Bar, and just to see how that's going on, and see how get some info on the walleye stocking. They are stocking the walleye fingerlings in several different places, and just get some info from him, and then maybe in the following week or so we can get an officer over here to tell us about the rules, regulations, any changes. I did pull up the license fee on my phone, and it's the same, $34 for this year as it was for last year. So that was good to hear. And
you ain't got but a couple more weeks, and you'll be need a new license. That's
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. At the end of this month, you got to have them. I mean, if you want to go out there and fish without them, then you're running the risk of getting caught without them, you know, and that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, the license we have right now runs out the end of this month, and so we better stop and get you a set, Mike.
Well, I hope I can get my money's worth out of them this weekend.
Yeah, well, that's true too. I understand what
The
you're
ones I
saying.
bought last year.
Yeah, right. I got you. But anyway, that's kind of some things in the works. And like I said, I just hope to get Mike over here next week possibly, and then follow up with a TWRA officer, a game warden that enforces the rules and regulations, and pass anything, you know, new along, and touch on some of the old stuff. So hopefully that'll work out. All right. Better say hello to Dad and to Bill and to Mike Pennington and Jerry Graham. Those fine folks that watching us. I know Bill's watching. Bill's been out at Dale Holler for a few days last week, and he's supposed to call in here in a little bit. And we actually, Wesley and I, or Mike and I went out there. We left the house about 5:30 last Saturday. Was it last Saturday? Saturday before, yeah. And we got out there at Max's house and went in and chatted with he and Bill for a little bit, and got the lowdown on the fishing, and we had a terrible day, and they even had a terrible day. Bill, you know, they boated 4 fish, and they finally just give up. And Bill and I talked about it a little bit today, because they stayed on a couple of more days after we came back home, and he said it just wasn't any good. And he said Tuesday, I think it was, he told Max, he said, I got to fish one more place and see what goes, you know. And so they went out there, and Bill said the first 5 casts he made was just bam, 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 and Max throwed a fit on him because he hadn't even got his rod out to fish. He didn't think it was going to do any good. And Bill said, caught this 5 fish and 5 casts, 5 fish, nice ones. And said, Max told him, said, don't throw back again till I get my rod out.
Well, you know what, them fish, they can't go forever without eating. No,
that's true. That is true, Mike. And, you know, the last few years down there, I've learned, you know, it seemed like, man, the minute that sun comes up over that tree line, it's over. They just get hard to catch. Now, if the water's muddy and this, that, and the other, like Mike and I have been out there a couple of times, the film that you see there when we come on to the show shot out there one of those days, and we just caught the fool out of them. I mean, it was just heck, the water had some color to it, and we'd pull in on a point there and then get 2, 3, maybe 5 fish off the same point, you know, and on a crankbait, and caught some fish that day on the jerkbait, and that kind of stuff. So it changes. I mean, it definitely changes out there pretty regular, and so you know, we hope to go back when the weather settles down here a little bit, and make another trip and see. But I'm going to pass this along to us, and here's the thing, Mike. We went to Dale Holler, and they had a tournament on Watts Bar last weekend. It was called the Watts Bar Open, I think, and 22 pounds something won the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, them old boys sacked them, and they had I think a 18 and a 17 pound bag, and then a 15 and on down. So good turnout, and they, you know, the guys that won it, I don't know them, but they had 22 pounds. them boys at work was telling me all about it, you know, and I said, man, that's great. This time of year and have a good bag like that, that's pretty dang good, you know. This time of year, the fish are fattened up a little bit, and so when you get one, they're pretty healthy.
Yeah.
So.
You know, you was talking about one of them telling you about the crappies that they caught down to Chickamauga in 2 foot of water. Well, I had a guy tell me that his buddy caught some down there at Wash Bar like that, 2 foot of water, and then went back Saturday. Didn't do no good. Couldn't find them in 2 foot of water no more. And fished all day and then catch with a couple of other ones. So, you know, that's the way they change from day to day down there. And a lot of it, I think, got to do with rain and colored water and stuff like that, depending on whereabouts you're at on the lake. That's one thing about them crappie. They don't like that dingy water when they get out there deep.
Right.
You can catch them up there when they're shallow like that, but once they head out there deep, they just don't want to bite at all in that dingy water. At least they don't want to bite a minnow anyway.
Well, that's.
And I'm sure that whoever won that bass tournament down there was probably throwing jerk baits, because everybody that I talked to about it, they was throwing jerk baits.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They were some good bags of fish caught, you know, considering. I mean, just not only the 22-pound winning bag, but you know, several more bags over between 15 and 20 pounds.
Yes, sir.
So that sounded good to me. We may be driving too far. Yeah. All right. Mike's got some crappie film here, and I don't know how he got it or where he got it. He may have got it off the internet. I don't know. We're going to find out here in just a minute. You ready to show the film? Let's go to a sponsor break and come back, Dylan. All right, man. Hey, folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, you know, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, you know, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And these over here, getting a little bigger sizes. Light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building is probably about 300 feet, one end to the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals they're going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could, they'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. Okay, we're back. Tim's Tires. Yeah, I mean, just good people. We've had Tim in the boat. I've had his daughter in the boat with us. I've had his son, Kevin, in the boat. His brother in the boat with me. over the years, you know,
They're pretty good fishermen too.
They got better. I'll tell you that. They definitely have that. No doubt. I'm looking forward to some night trips here this summer. Hopefully we can get on some fish up there, and they do a pretty good job. They definitely, even when they was in the boat with me, and then they come up with their boat, they've learned some things, and which is good. That's what you want to do. See people that you're fishing with enjoy themselves and catch fish. You know, and I try to put them on what we're throwing and where to throw it at, and that kind of thing, and they done pretty good. So anyway, want to thank them for hanging with us, and we'll go on to some of the other sponsors as the show goes on. So, all right, Dylan, let's see Mike's crappie film. All right.
Okay, folks, I'm down here on the lower end, off Moochie here. Pulled in here to get out of the wind a minute. Tell you where it's at and what I'm doing. It's 44-degree water. Winds are blowing pretty hard, almost white capping out there. We're gonna get out there and try a little of it anyway. At least I hope we do. So man, it's crazy there. Well, anyway, we get our minnows on. Maybe we can find out something. Water seems to be pretty clear. I hope it stay that way. That sunshine might have made them tighten up against stuff. I don't know. We just have to get out here and try them and see. But anyway, stick with us, and hopefully we can catch a few of them and tell you all about it. I finally got one to bite down there. Too little. Took off back down. Try him again. Got 40 foot deep. All right, folks, we got another bite here. Let's see what this one is. Another little crappie. Oh, that might measure. Be on something here. Alright, folks. Ease back in here a little bit and get up yonder. My goodness gracious. Got 35. Anyway, we get him back. I'll be down. There's another one. That's got them gills out there. Think he's gonna keep something from swallowing him. I don't know. We get rigged up here and try it again. On here. No. That's another strap. Man, there's a bunch of them down there, man. You're gonna get off this place. All right. Yeah, there's a crappie. My goodness gracious. ain't big enough. We can get back down there and find one bigger. Okay, we got another one on here. Let's see what this one is. Bounce around like a crappie. Feels fairly good. Nope, it ain't though. It's a striper. Goodness gracious. Come up here. I had gone down. Another little one. Okay. At least it's a crappie and not a stripe. If he's gonna make it. Don't look like it. I'm gonna have to let the air out of him again. And there's that like a little bit better. What it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the kind we're looking for right there. Looks like that other one down there. I'll have to go get him. He wanting to go down. I'll have to get him, put the air out of him. Okay, folks, this one here can't go back down, so I'm gonna try to let the air out of him. He's swimming around now. Matter of fact, he done gone. All right. All right, folks, I got another one here. Between that wind and that current coming through here. Another little one, at least. We're gonna make it. Yeah, down the half. Yeah, take off. Make it or not? Well, looks like he is. We'll have to get the air out of that one too. There you go. Gotta get the air out of that one. you can go. Keep going. Get back after him. Let's see. Feels awful good anyway. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what the plan is. Yes, sir. Nice. Real nice. We'll put him back in the box and see if we can get some more. Hopefully we can. Got another pretty good in here. Feels good anyway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's nice. Go behind the road. Good. We'll get him in the box and see if we can find another one. Sounds to me like it had a big wreck down there. Daytona. Red flag, get that little well on before they get it going. Anyway, that's a small one there. I don't know if he'll make it or not. We'll measure him and see. Well, he ain't gonna make it. Put him back in. Go. Don't have to put no needles in him. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he'll make it. Now then, I know he will too. Yeah. A little bit over. Like that. Come here. This thing won't make it, too little. Be plenty for next year. He's dry. I think he's going down. Keep an eye out on him anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah. There's a little keeper. Yeah. For sure he's gonna get a bite off that pressure. Get him in the box and see if we can find another one. All right. pretty good. Oh yeah. It's getting pretty late. I guess we better load them up and head toward the barn. Supposed to be a big snow come in here or something. Ice, whatever tonight. Anyway, I think we got 8 and good one. 8 good crappies. So most of them, like I say, is coming either 40. I guess 44 was the deepest one, and probably 38 was the shallowest one. So coming in that range. So anyway, I hope you can get a chance to get down here and catch in a few of them. So we'll see you on the show Thursday night. And remember the sponsors, and let's go fishing. Okay, folks, you can see the airbag right here in these crappie. That's right above this fin right here, this side fin. Go right above it. And right here at the end of the starting of this fin right here, or the end of these ones on the bottom, come straight up. And that's where you poke your hole right in here to let the air out of it. That's their air bladder. When it get down there deep, they put more pressure in here on that. You bring them up quick, try to blow them apart and kill them. So you got to let the air out of them before they can go back down. So I just wanted you to see exactly where that air bladder was at. It's straight back from this fin, straight up from there. Put you right in there on it.
Okay, Mike. Let's talk a little bit about the fish. What you the death and that kind of thing, and then get into the bleeding the air off of them.
Well, like I say, there's shallowest one's probably about 38, and deepest one's probably about 44.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd done a lot of idling around and looking. Because the wind was blowing so hard and everything. As time was so hard to stay on the place anyway, so I thought, well, I'll just check out some new places, and just kept idling around. I don't know, I guess I spent 2 or 3 hours idling around down there and stuff. But yeah, I found a couple of spots there to try, and caught that one big one there off of one spot there, and a few others off of some places that I already knowed was there. But anyway, they was 9 crappies what I got bring home to clean there, and I had 2 that was between 10 and 11 inches there, and the rest of them was I'd say 13 to 15 inches.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice crappie and stuff there, but other than the wind blowing, it was a pretty nice day, really.
Yeah.
A little cool, but that wind made it that way. And I probably didn't see 2 other boats all day. So it wasn't crowded.
Well, all right, that sounds pretty good. And you had how many? You had, 10 keepers?
9.
9 keepers?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't catch a lot of little crappie that day, did you? Or did you?
No, not that many. I guess 7 or 8 maybe. few of them hadn't let the air out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they bring them up and turn them back loose, and they don't want to go back down. They can't, and they just turn up on their side. And if you don't let the air out of them, get a hold of them, let the air out of them, they're dead. It don't take them long. I mean, he tries to push their stomach back out of them and push their eyeballs out and everything else, and they'll die pretty quick if you don't get the air out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the bass the same way, you know.
Yeah.
That pressure change from that depth of water down there, you know, and they got to have that bladder to push back out against that down there, just like a scuba diver, you know, when he goes down, you got to have
Mm-hmm.
deeper you go, the more air pressure, and then they got to where they get down so deep, they got to mix helium and stuff with it, you know.
Oh.
And everything to be able to stand it. You can't come up too quick, because then if you do, it wants to blow you apart. So you have to either bring them up real slow. That helps a lot if you bring them up slow. But if they don't go back down, you better get the air out of them pretty quick, or they'll die.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was pretty interesting there, what you were showing about bleeding that air out of them. And you know, we've had to, over the years, I carry a needle in my boat just for, you know, when I'm bass fishing and get a fish out deep, you know, and you don't want to go down, you got to let the air out.
Well, they got a deal out now that you go down through their mouth and through the back of their stomach, and
Mm-hmm.
big old long thing, and you go back in there and poke a hole through the back of their stomach, and it lets the air out of the bladder behind the stomach there,
Mm-hmm.
and then that little hole will heal up there in a few days. But
Yeah.
that needle works awful good.
Yeah.
But you got to lean it back toward the tail to get back through and under the scales there, and you get into that bladder and let that pressure off of them.
Right.
They're good to go then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. It works out well. You got to do it sometimes, you know. We've went around in these weigh-ins at times, and there'd be a fish or two struggling to get down, and dip them up and let the air out of them.
There you go.
They're gone. Throw them back in the water, and they're gone. So it does make a difference. Just glad we don't see that a whole lot, you know, but occasionally you do, you know, when you're fishing 20, 25, 30 foot deep, and even 40 foot deep, and you bring a fish up, a lot of times they're, if their eyeballs are poked out, look out.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to do a little help. So,
You know, 20 foot around that range, when you go getting deeper than 20, then you better go looking for it. But anything 20 foot or less, you usually don't see that kind of trouble out of them.
yeah. Well, you know, tournaments have changed to some extent. The bass tournaments, especially, we used to go down there and fish every month, sometimes 2 a month. In June, July, and August, right on into September, for the classics and that kind of thing. Fish all day with a towel over your head, did a 95 in the shade.
Yeah.
And you know, when you caught a fish out there that deep, a lot of times they would be, you'd have to let the air out of them, you know. And occasionally it wouldn't affect one, but every now and then you'd get one that wouldn't go down when you'd release him, and you'd have to get them up and do a little, let the air out of them so they could go down, then they'd take off. But anyway, good. It was good information, because like you said, when you catch him and he's undersized, and you get him up and he don't go down, he's not going to survive.
No.
And so to help the catch, you want to let the air out of it where he can go back down and get bigger to where he's big enough to keep. You know, that's the whole deal.
Matter of fact, there a few weeks ago when I caught one and throwed him back in, and I said, well, I'm going to have to go get him and let the air out of him, and I turned the boat around there to go back to get him, and one of them, he was landing on top, and one of them old big blue heron cranes come in there and plucked him right out of the water and took off with him before I could get back to him.
No kidding.
No kidding.
That's some gun. Yeah, them rascals there, they part of the world's best fishermen. They don't miss many.
No,
Huh?
Sure didn't miss that, and he didn't go with it.
Yeah, son of a gun. That's and they watch. I mean, they sit right there. They'll watch like a hawk.
Them old big birds down there, seagulls. I guess you got no one seagulls.
Oh no, that was over in Weiss Creek that day.
No, the ones painted on their pictures there that we had there, got the big throat to them.
Yeah.
Down there's got the black under their wings and stuff. Yeah. When I put in down there, there was a line of them all the way across the back of that dang place there, and took the boat out there and parked it and went and parked the truck, come back, and they had moved in, just like seining with a net, and it drove all the minnows up to the bank right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so many minnows there, they was all reaching down there, grabbing them, sticking their head on the water, getting them minnows, and some of them, there was so many of them birds, they was jumping on top of the others trying to get down there to get to them minnows.
Sure.
There's awful fighting, feeding going on right there.
What was it, the heron or them dang loons?
No, it was some kind of dang crane or something, had that great old big throat to him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
And they must have been 100 or more of them right there.
Shoot.
Yeah, they was all over that dang place down there.
Well, so we got. If them minnows was in there that close, no wonder them boys caught them fish down there on that tournament, good as they did.
Yeah.
That's good. That's wonderful. What was the water temp when you was down there?
44.
44. About it was what 44.7 on Dale Holler, and we was out there the other week. What? Okay. All right, Dylan, take us to another break, will you? Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're back. That was Shuri just called in to give us an update on the ball game, 66 to 61 or 68 to 61. Yeah.
62.
62, that's right. 68 to 62, she said. Okay, well, we hope they win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sure do. With 2 minutes left, so that'll be great. All righty. Let's see, Mike. I had a couple of more things. I wanted to thank IOUE for their renewal, keeping us going for another year here, hopefully, and finish this year out. And like I said, we're just waiting on the weather to kind of break a little bit, and get on the water, Mike. You can't catch them at the house. This don't bite worth a hoot.
No, they sure don't.
No.
Sure don't.
Yeah, you know, you're sitting on the couch or doing chores around the house, you just don't get many bites.
Yeah.
So you got to get out there where they're at and go from there. Mike, pull the board up there that Jerry Graham built for us, and I was hoping old Bill would call in. We'll let Dylan get the camera up there on that on the board there, and we're going to talk just a little bit about these baits. There's nothing spectacular about them. They've been around for years and years and years, but the guy that ties them up is just A1. Paul Harrison he just does an excellent job on tying those baits up, and we'll come in from fishing when we get down there. We got a little old box full of hair fly or bucktails and thread and lead heads and the whole 9 yards, and
well, now Max ain't too bad about it.
no, Max ain't too bad either. You got to kind of coax him into getting busy, you know. But
Yeah, well,
I mean, it just a good camaraderie there between all of us, and we'll eat a bite, and then we clear the table and break out the bucktail and the thread and the hard as nails and get busy.
yeah.
And that's the deal.
He's
So,
pretty good at a gap jig too, he called it.
Yeah. That Max, he likes to tie them the jigs up and that kind of thing, you know. So, but
Bill-
anyway,
Bill jumped on him down there 'cause he tied up some jigs there, and he didn't get the hair all the way around on them. And he told him, said, you might as well throw them away, cut them off, and redo them again. So that gap jig there ain't gonna do no good. And we got out there fishing that night, and Max pulled up there and had one of them tied on, and he caught 4 or 5 big smallmouth down that bank there. And Bill said, what are you catching them on? And he said, that gap jig.
yeah, I know how it is. Okay, Dylan, let me get you close-up camera there. There we go. Get these things around here where I can tell you what the deal is. There's a lot of them guys Bill knows, and we've had a privilege to get acquainted with. And we got it behind the fish, Mike. One of the favorite. Well, I can't see what you're doing, but anyway, one of the best colors that, and believe it or not, is a yellow with some chartreuse in it. A lot of them boys from down in Manchester, Tennessee, Duval, and a lot of them guys over there. That's what they're throwing, and you wouldn't think, that yellow and chartreuse would be one of the favorite baits, but it is. It catches a lot of fish out there on Dale Hollow, and then naturally you want to throw a brown and chartreuse, brown bucktail with a little bit of chartreuse in the back of that. And then you got the brown with a little bit of orange in that, and they're down there at the bottom. I don't think they can see.
Sometimes he paints a yellow head on them. Sometimes he paint a white head on them, and then some of them he puts what he calls that little peekaboo, shiny looking strips in there on it, and sometimes he don't. He just leaves it plain like that.
Yeah, you got a chartreuse head, a white head, and a yellow head.
Yeah.
And those are some of the good baits. And then, like I said, we got the brown with the chartreuse, and then we got the brown with the orange in it. And Bill, if you don't watch him, he'll have a brown and orange, a brown and chartreuse, and a daggum yellow and chartreuse on 3 different rods there. He's ready, and that's what you got to do. But those those little hair flies right there are I mean, I got a box sitting right over here, and every time I get with Paul, I said, let's see your box. And he's got a big old cardboard box there full of flies and stuff already tied up, and I just grab them out and start going through them. He says, get all you want. And so that's kind of what we do, for sure. Mike's found out why the phone hadn't rung. Yeah, he pulled the cord out of the wall with his chair. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get it on, Dylan. Yeah. Okay. So the phone's dead. Nobody's called in. Okay. Well, we still not lit up out here yet, but anyway, if they do, maybe you can get us on there if somebody calls in. But that's the deal on the little hair flies, and they work. Yeah, we got something on right there now. You know, I throw those a lot at Norse at night. A black one or a brown one. I don't throw much of the yellow and chartreuse, but the browns and the blacks, throw a lot of those up there in the spring and daytime, or when we start night fishing, and till they start hitting the bigger jigs, then that kind of stuff. So we get, you know, they're just a good bait that would, you know, I'm not going to Dale Holler this time of year without them. That's just plain simple. Seen too much, and that just doesn't work, you know, to be out there without them. Like I said, I get in Paul's box and gather me. He says, get all you want, and I always get a few extra.
Well, you never know what a smallmouth will hit.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Any color you can imagine.
Yeah.
And you sure as you think they won't hit that color right there?
Yeah.
They will.
There ain't no doubt about it. It's, you know, they're just that way. What you think they want, that's what they want. And, you know, but anyway, I just thought I'd point that out to y'all, what the deal is out there. Now, don't get me wrong, the Ned rig stuff, got a bag full of it right here. The green pumpkins and let's see what's this other, morning dawn, and you know, just the little swim baits, you know. So they'll hit other things, but right now the water temperature the way it is, them guys, they know pretty close when they get there what they're gonna fish with. And they catch them. They ain't no two when, you know, when they're biting, they get after it. I thought I'd bring, you know, if you thought you'd be out that way, give you a little hint of what we'd start out with. You know, we may wind up changing some things, but that'll be on the one of the two or three rods that we're throwing anyway. But anyway, wanted to show y'all that. Let's see. One of the guys at work wanted me to mention that the next Watts Bar Open tournament, I think, will be here in March. So about the second week of March, I think he said. Didn't give me the exact date, but just thought I'd pass that along. Let's see. We got let me talk a little bit about Reynolds Racing and Marine. Then we're going to show that. I'm going to try to get over to Jim's and shoot another little sketch of film, and you know, something new, because that's what we've been showing from Jim's is, heck, 3 months old, I guess. I'd like to get over there and get some new film from him. Possibly some new stuff from Reynolds and Tim's also, because we can't do the show without our sponsors. And don't forget Gibbons Creations there on your emblems or whatever you might have. Give that little girl a call, and she's still in high school. I'm sure she'd love to have some business. If you got something that she could make for you, give her a call there on the TV, on the screen you're seeing the number.
Any kind of sticker you want for your back window, or you want something on your hard hat, or anything like that, I'm sure she can print it up.
Oh yeah, she's doing pretty good with that, with those decals and things. So don't forget her. You got about 5 minutes. Okay, Reynolds Racing and Marine. Just put those pictures up on that bullet boat, will you, Dylan? There we go. Far as I know right now, the bullet boat that he took in on trade is still there, and it's a 99 model, but I haven't looked at it personally, and if I can get by there in the next day or two, I'll get some better pictures. But you can zoom in on that thing, it doesn't look bad. That's a big boat cover, a full cover up on the tongue of the trailer there, if you can't make out what that is. But do give them a call there at Reynolds, go by and look at that, and also the new boats that he's got. And
well, the yellow one in behind it there, it was a brand new one he just sold, and that almost looks as good as that new one.
Yeah. So, well, let's see. Hello.
60-something, Tennessee just won.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, anyway. Do go by Reynolds Racing and Marine. Check them out down there. They got, I know, a couple of express boats, that 19-footer, center console, camo job. That's make a great hunting boat, fishing boat, all about whatever you want to do, because it's so easy to wash and clean.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that thing up there. If you've gone deer hunting or duck hunting, got all over the boat, just put the water hose to it.
That's right.
And cleans up really well. Don't forget any, it's going to be springtime here pretty quick. They'll get covered up with people wanting this done, that done, oil changes in the gear unit, in the lower unit, oil change and this, that, and the other, tune-ups, whatever. So get there before the crowd gets there.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, do remember them. Edgemore Outdoors, just a wonderful bait store. I mean, and just great people to trade with. I can't wait till I can get over there. I need a few baits myself, Mike.
That's right.
For sure. Okay, Dylan, how much time we got? 2 minutes? Well, listen, we're going to get out of here. Hopefully we can get back on the water over the weekend, even though the weather's not going to be the best in the world. Listen, do wear your life jacket. God bless you all, and we'll hope to see you next week. Hey, folks, here at Edgemore Outdoors, we're going to run inside and shoot some film. Don't forget Edgemore Outdoors over here on Edgemore Road. Hey folks, we're in here at Edgemore Outdoors. Man, the place has been packed with people. The reason being because this is the best sporting goods store this side of the Mississippi River. So if you want to get in here and get you something, you better come by. See Jim and Vance and Jeannie here at Edgemore Outdoors. They've got everything you might need to fish with, whether it be from a boat or from the bank or whatever. Rods, reels, the walls are lined with baits, tackle. I mean, just great store. Jim's been a sponsor of the show for a long time, and we really appreciate him and his family. And but do get by here and visit with them at Edgemore Outdoors. Live bait, just everything in the world. We'll just take a little quick stroll down through here. Jim said he was tired of seeing Vance on the TV every Thursday night, so he wanted me to get somebody besides him. I'll take that back. He didn't say that, but I thought about it. All right, Vance, what kind of special you got for us today?
Got all kinds of specials in here today.
Got all kinds of specials today. Anything in particular? Got a good sale on reels, rods.
We got some, we've been selling a bunch of these